Good morning, everybody. We're going to wait a couple minutes for all the participants to join in. Thank you for your patience. We'll wait a couple more minutes to have some additional participants join in. Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Research Integrity and Compliance webinar for Spring 2025. We're thrilled to have you all here today and appreciate you taking the time to join us. Today's session, eIACUC, Navigating the Protocol Approval Process, is designed to guide you through the essential steps and best practices for successfully obtaining eIACUC protocol approval. It'll cover key aspects of the submission process, common pitfalls to avoid, and tips for ensuring compliance with regulatory requirements. By the end of this presentation, you will have a clear understanding of how to efficiently navigate through the process, ensuring your research protocols are approved in a timely fashion. We are excited to have Adrian Brooker presenting for us today. Adrian brings a wealth of knowledge and with over 11 years of experience in higher education research setting. We are confident you'll find this session both informative and engaging. We request through the presentation to ask your questions at the end. We'll have a dedicated Q&A session, and you can submit your questions through the Q&A icon, where our team will address the questions. Thank you again for being here, and we hope you enjoyed today's session. Let's get started. Adrian, are you ready?
I am. I'm just uploading a presentation.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending this presentation. First, I do have a disclaimer. I do have a disgruntled kitty today. He's kind of being demanding, so if you hear any kind of fussing at me, he just wants to get on my desk, so just disregard him meowing and fussing. But we can start. So, like I said, welcome to the spring 2025 session on navigating the eIACUC protocol approval process. Today, we'll guide you through the essential steps of logging into the system, navigating workflows, creating and submitting protocols, and addressing requested revisions and potential delays of approvals. Let's get started. I think it's, let's see. Okay, there. Sorry, it was kind of lagging. This training will focus on key aspects of using IACUC. We'll cover the IACUC missions, logging into the system, understanding the workflow for protocol submissions, how to create and submit a protocol, how to respond effectively to any revisions, requests, and common delays for preventing approval. By the end of this session, you will have a clear understanding of the submission process. The IACUC program's mission revolves around 5 core pillars that guide our efforts in supporting ethical and effective research involving vertebrate animals. We support excellence in research and teaching, ensuring the highest standards are met when vertebrate animals are involved. Our program reviews concerns regarding the care or use of animal in research, providing a robust system for addressing any potential issues. We focus on educating researchers and staff about current practices, ensuring that everyone is involved and is equipped with the knowledge to adhere to best practices. We provide a tailored guidance to USF faculty and staff researchers, helping them navigate complex protocols and compliance requirements. The IACUC represents the interests of the research broader community, promoting ethical animal use in research while upholding public trust. Together, these elements define our mission and the service we strive to provide to our research community. Who is required to submit an IACUC protocol? First and foremost, any researcher intending to use vertebrate animals in their research must submit IACUC protocol. This requirement initiates the compliance process to uphold the ethical, legal standards governing the use of animal research. The requirements apply specifically to research that falls into the following categories: research conducted by USF faculty, student staff, or by institutions affiliated with USF, research performed on USF premises, at locations administered by USF, or within facilities affiliated with institutions. And finally, research that is funded by USF or supported through executed agreements involving USF resources. By adhering to these requirements, we advocate that all animals-related research is conducted responsibly, ethically, and in compliance with institutional policies and federal regulations. The IACUC provides comprehensive support to researchers working with vertebrate animals. Our services include developing and delivering training to ensure researchers are well prepared, inspecting animal spaces such as labs, vivarium, to maintain compliance, investigating animal welfare concerns to uphold ethical standards, facilitating the approval of protocols to streamline the research process, assisting researchers in adhering to federal, state, and institutional policies. These efforts ensure both ethical animal use and regulatory compliance, thereby fostering the success of your research. Let's talk about the review process. Full Committee Review, or FCR as we use for short, is used for new studies and involves a decision at a convened meeting. Possible outcomes include approval, requires modification, or disapproval. Designated Member Review, or DMR, is an expedited review, allowing members 3 days to assess a submission. If no concerns are raised, a designated member reviews and make a decision on behalf of the committee. Note that disapproval isn't an option for DMR. So with this slide, we were talking about the flow of how FCR is submitted. So this slides will illustrate the process where you first start with the pre-submission, where researchers prepare their protocols. The protocol then undergoes a veterinarian review, during which clarifications may be requested from the investigator. And all preliminary requirements are met, the protocol advances to the committee review. After deliberations, and depending on the protocol's complexity, the committee may call for REMSA DMR or REMSA FCR. And if you're wondering what REMSA is, it requires modification to secure approval. Once all required actions are addressed, the protocol is marked as prepared correspondence, which is a state of approval, preparing for the approval letter to be completed. This structured process ensures thorough evaluations while maintaining compliance and efficiency. This slide outlines the workflow for the designated member review process. The process starts again with the pre-submission review, where the researcher prepares the protocol. It then again goes to the vet review to assess the protocol for completeness and compliance. If clarifications are needed, the researcher will receive a request to address specific issues, then submit to the IACUC. Once the protocol is submitted to the IACUC staff will review and place the protocol in designated member assessment phase, where all IACUC members have 3 days to review and provide comments before the protocol is transferred to the designated reviewers. Next, the protocol advances to the designated member review, where a designated reviewer evaluates it. Again, clarifications may be requested at this stage once issues are resolved and no further clarifications are needed. The protocol is marked as prepared correspondence again, and then we're waiting for the approval letter to begin, and that's where your final approval will be granted. Here we'll talk about the administration review workflow. The process begins with the pre-submission, where the researcher prepares the protocol. It then goes to the administrative staff for review. We will check for compliance, completeness, and if needed, clarifications are requested for the investigator at this stage. Once the administration review is complete, the protocol moves to the designated member review for further evaluations. Clarifications, again, may be requested if necessary. After all required modifications are addressed, the protocol is finalized and marked as prepared correspondence, signifying the time to prepare the approval letter. For this slide, the VVC, or as in long terms, veterinarian verification and consultation review, it still goes through the whole process of having a pre-submission where researchers prepare and submit to the protocol for vet review. But here, the vet evaluates it for compliance with animal care and welfare standards. If any issues or concerns arise, the veterinarian may request for clarifications for the researchers. Once these are addressed, the protocol may be revised and resubmitted to the vet, where they will provide a determination of approval, or it will have to go for designated member review. Normally, VVC process, takes 1 to 3 business days for approval. So in all, this iterative process ensures that protocols meet all necessary standards and reflect best practices from animal care before advancing to further review stages. As previously mentioned, the protocol applications are to go either FCR or DMR. In FCR, the new study is reviewed at a convened meeting with a quorum of members. A majority of voters of those present is needed for approval, modification request, or disapproval. Substantial modifications require another review by FCR or DMR. DMR is an expedited process where IACUC members have 3 days to comment or recommend FCR. If no one requests for FCR, the application goes to the designated member who can approve, request for modifications, or call for FCR, but cannot disapprove in the DMR stage. The DMR is used for procedure changes, third-year renewals, and other specific protocols. Only a small number of studies are reviewed by full committee. The submission required to undergo FCR are new research or teaching applications, which include protocols describing work by a PI that has not been previously approved by the committee. Most studies are processed via DMR. including research or teaching applications previously approved by the committee, often referred to as 3-year or third-year renewals. Protocols where animals experience minimal or no pain, discomfort, or distress. Wildlife protocols for study of wild animals in or from natural settings. Breeding protocols only, anti-serum, and animal tissue use only protocols. The protocol submission process is key to ensuring that animal research is conducted ethically. Researchers must provide a detailed protocol that outlines the species, number of animals, and procedures. A veterinarian provides a pre-review that focuses on the animal's well-being before the protocol can be submitted to the IACUC for review. The IACUC then reviews protocols based on scientific merit, ethical concerns, and regulatory compliance. Proper review ensures animals are used only when necessary and their welfare is prioritized throughout the research. Now let's get into logging into the eIACUC system. Submitting your protocol in the eIACUC system is pretty straightforward process. It begins with logging into the ARC homepage. Using your credentials. Once in, you'll navigate through the submission process, complete your protocol, and submit it for veterinarian pre-review before it reaches the IACUC. We'll explore these steps shortly. So let's dive into the login process. Before you submit a protocol, you must be registered in the ARC system and have an ARC account. To register, you will need to click the register button, and here you will fill out the registration form. Registration usually kind of takes up to like 48 hours. That's if you register during business hours. Of course, if you register over the weekend, you will have to wait like the next business day for the ARC help desk to fulfill your request. Once you have an account, you can then click on the login button to proceed to your ARC account, which is here. Please note under the IACUC tab, you will find resources such as the IACUC forms, meeting deadlines, and informational documents. So over here, once you're on this homepage, we'll have a tab for IACUC, and here we have like all related documents that you will need. You can get the principles and policy procedures. We have the H&R forms and just whatnot you need that pertains to the IACUC. You can always just go here and find anything that you need. With the USF Net ID single sign-on, most employees and student users will be able to access their accounts with the same login. They already use for like other USF systems. So, and also too, some ARC portal users do not have a USF Net ID, so they will be able to use the ARC portal login function that allows individuals to gain access to the ARC system. Once logged in, you will be on your home page. In the My Roles column, the majority of researchers will only have the study staff role. However, in some cases, researchers will have multiple roles, as you see from the picture right through here. It could be, if you're a committee member, it'll be up there as well. Roles from the picture. It is vital that you are in the correct role for you to carry out the specific task. With that said, we are going to be studying this. We're going to be in the study staff role to ensure everyone knows how to create and submit a protocol. So on your homepage, you will also have like your inbox. As if you look here, it also states like inbox and IACUC approved. But this is where you will have the opportunity to create your protocol submission, initiate. Where did I go? Sorry, it skipped. I'm sorry, I skipped. So this is where you'll find like all your protocols and everything in your functions here. So this is where you'll start to create your application. So creating your application in the study staff role, you will have the opportunity to create and finalize your protocol submission to initiate an IACUC study for protocol, navigate to the animal subjects area, and this is where you'll be able to click IACUC study tab. This is where you will be able to create the new protocol. Once the protocol is generated, it will open for you to begin incorporating your information, beginning with the title. Please note you must complete all sections that has a red asterisk. If not complete, the protocol will give you an error code. before you can submit your protocol for review. Upon completing the protocol, you will arrive at the final page of your application, known as the Investigator Assurance page. This section includes instructions for the subsequent steps of submitting the applications for a veterinarian review. It is critical to save your progress by clicking the Save button before selecting the Finish button. I really highly recommend you doing this periodically throughout the application process to prevent any loss of information. Now that you have finished the application, locate the Submit for Veterinarian Review activity on the left side of the workspace. Click it and follow any additional instructions to complete the submission process. Please be advised, following the veterinarian review, the principal investigator will be required to confirm the follow-up submission to the IACUC. Once the veterinarian review is complete, which can take up to 7 days, they are allowed 7 days to review protocols, you will need to submit for IACUC review. Please be careful not to click the Submit Study for Veterinary Review tab again, as this will restart the vet review process and can cause a delay unless the veterinarian instructs you to do so. Please note, only the PI is authorized to submit the application for IACUC review. Here's a summation of submitting a protocol. So basically all protocols and modifications follow the same basic submission process, except for your amendment modification request. Amendments do not require veterinarian review. Once your protocol is submitted, the following steps usually are typically involved. You'll have your pre-vet a veterinarian pre-review. This protocol is usually initially reviewed by the veterinarian to ensure all necessary information is included. The IACUC staff conducts a preliminary review to check for completeness and compliance with submission requirements. The protocol is then reviewed by the IACUC. This can involve either FCR or DMR. The decision of the committee or designated reviewer is communicated to the investigator. This decision could be an approval, requires modifications, or full committee review. If further actions is needed, the PI, secondary study contact, and the study team will receive email notification detailing the required actions. If revisions are requested, you will receive instructions via email from the ARC system. Make necessary updates in the protocol and submit it through the eIACUC. Clear communication and timely responses will ensure a smoother review process. So to the protocol workspace, the workspace is our protocol homepage. The workspace provides access to the protocol's information and activities to make changes. Sorry about this slide, it looks a little wonky. Whenever you receive your changes requested by the IACUC notifications on the protocols workspace, you will see changes requested by IACUC. It's right through here. Along with the number of reviews noted that you need for your attention. So it'll have here, and then it also make sure you'll have all the numbers. It could be 2 to arrange into probably 15 or however so. Also, this protocol is a perfect example of common pitfalls if you are wanting to have your protocol approved by a certain time. As you can see, the requested changes were provided on 11/20/24, and the study team has not responded to the reviewer notes in a timely fashion. So despite like the notification attempts from the ARC system, they still have not responded, and it has actually went well over into the next year. So just be mindful if you need your protocol to be like approved on a certain time base, make sure that you're looking back and forth into the system so you can see if you have some type of request that needs to be addressed. On the protocol workspace, there will be a reviewer notes tab where you will find all the reviewer notes that require your response. Click on the section that requires response and the protocol will open in the section you selected. So Once you go to your reviewer notes tab here, you'll see to get to that certain section, you will click on the highlighted section where it says word respond notes, and you click on it and it'll open up your protocol and it'll direct you directly to that section so you can respond from there. So you don't have to go and open it up and then try to search for it. In the designated section, you will find an orange comment box with a number. Click on the orange box to open the comment box, which will pop open to the reviewer notes windows containing the note for changes. Additionally, when addressing reviewer notes for requested changes, you must make the changes within the body of the protocol. The reply text box is used for comments and is not considered part of the protocol. So make sure that you don't put the changes within this text box. Make sure you go back into the protocol and put what you need to put in there for your modifications. After updating the protocol, leave a comment noting the changes and click OK. To submit your response, once all notes have been addressed, save the changes and exit back to the protocol workspace where you'll be able to submit your response to the IACUC. Be advised, failing to respond to a response required message will result in an error code blocking submission for review. So make sure that you do come back and respond, say, okay, yes, I've made those changes, and click, and then so that your protocol can be reviewed, because if not, like I said, you will have an error code and will not let you submit for review. So once you do that submission back on the protocol workspace, it will tell you that where you have logged your changes is just the display that you have answered those and made the changes. So you should see where you have logged your changes. Once the protocol has undergone the review process and received full approval, the approved protocol will be available under the approved IACUC tab located on the home page. So now you're not like at your protocol workspace. Now you're back on your home page. So you'll see a tab. You'll go to your approved IACUC approved tab, and then here it should have a list of your approved protocol. Within the approved protocol workspace, you will find the approval and 3-year expiration dates, which will be located here. So that's the approval date, and it's the 3-year expiration date. As well as a letter of approval for printing or saving. If you need to locate and approve, So over here too on your top right side, this is where you can find your approval letter. If you ever need one for, like, I guess, updating your grant information and they'll request for it, you will find it here. Also, whenever you do a modification, and if you also need the same thing for the approval, you will go to the modification tab on that approved protocol, and it'll be located here. And once you click that open, it'll have all the modifications you have done. And then in the same sense, you can find the approval letter also in that same section on the right side, top right side. That brings us to the end for technical support questions. You can please contact the ARC help desk, and for protocol questions, contact the IACUC office. And if you ever need us, it's a dedicated team for us, to help you with your research needs and compliance inquiries. Please feel free to seek guidance or assistance at any stage of the process if you need any assistance. That's it. If there are any questions or answers. Farah, I saw your hands, but you're muted.
Hey, Adrian, I had a question for discussion. Who can submit for vet review from the IACUC study team?
It seems everybody can submit from the study team if they are on the protocol. If you're not on the protocol, you cannot submit. But to do the final step, the PI is the only one that can click that button to submit it to the IACUC. So anybody on the research team can go in and do all kind of modifications, but the PI is the only one that can click that button to submit to us.
Is that for only new applications, or is that also for modifications?
It's also for modifications.
So modifications and new applications must be submitted by the PI.
Yes, and our vets do a great job too. They'll have a little note to say that the PI must, so they'll give you instructions and let you know that the PI must do that.
But for amendments, research team can submit that. Is that correct?
Yes, only research is through the whole, it's administrative kind of review, so we don't have to go through all of that. So that's all administrative, so we don't do any of that. So it comes straight to us.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm. Debbie?
So do you have, I know in our system, we have what we identify as PI proxies, and they're able to submit in the as a proxy for the PI, not on initial submissions, but for like amendments and continuing reviews. Do you have something like that that's available for if the PI is not going to be able to submit something, that they have somebody they can assign to be able to submit amendments and continuing, well, you don't have continuing reviews, but amendments for or modifications for the protocols?
We don't have a proxy. Like I said, if anybody's on the protocol, they could do it, but the PI has to do it. Like anything that goes out like a notification is great for us because we have a secondary study contact, and that's just like the person to go to if the vet's not, I mean, sorry, the PI is not available. We know to contact them, but at still at the end of the day, the PI has the sole right to submit. Nobody else can.
Okay, thank you.
I don't, anybody else, any other questions?
Well, if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to email them to iacuc@usf.edu. If you think of something later on, Adrian, Jamie, and Andy can answer them at any time. And we would love for you to take a survey after this course to give us some feedback and any suggestions for topics that you would be wanting to get more educational information about.
I do want to say though, people also calling everybody in the IACUC can't answer questions, but we do have designated members for certain things. Like Jamie, if you ever have like questions for certification, you can contact Jamie. I'm more of the modifications persons or like for your MOUs. Andy is for full committee reviews and anything. So just like that, those are like the designated things that we do. So you can just contact the right person right off. So just want to let you know that.
Thank you, Adrian. That's very helpful. And all our contact information was on the last slide. We will send the surveys out soon. And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys.